So before WrestleMania, I posted up a video making a statement saying Roman Reigns is going to beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania and probably retire him. Now, it wasn't an incredibly controversial video, but it definitely got some people unhappy, or made some people mad, I guess, because they didn't want to believe it, or, they didn't want to see Roman Reigns beat The Undertaker at Mania. But for those people, what are you doing watching a prediction? Here's what you get with my predictions. You get a prediction. Regardless of how I feel about it, whether I want to see it happen or not, I will tell you what I think is going to happen. So if you're going to get mad because I think that a certain superstar that you may not like is going to win a certain match, what are you doing watching a prediction in the first place? Anyways, this time around, this is kind of weird, seeing as how what happened with Roman Reigns beating The Undertaker and me saying that Roman's probably not going to lose any match anytime soon. Now I'm saying that Braun is going to beat Roman Reigns at Payback this Sunday, and let me explain to you why. So first off, yes, I did say that Roman's probably not going to lose any matches anytime soon after his win over Braun, breaking that streak, and then also being the second person to beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania. But I also didn't expect that a week later he'd be thrown around the entire backstage area by Braun and then pushed off a ledge while he's on the stretcher. After that, medics put him in the ambulance and Braun flips the entire vehicle with Roman still in there. And afterwards they announced that Roman got cracked ribs and a separated shoulder and internal injuries, this and that. We didn't see that coming. And you know why I think they did this? They went to this extreme to build up the match. It's because that is their excuse as to why Roman is going to lose to Braun. Because if Roman didn't suffer these injuries, then it'd be hard to justify Roman Reigns losing to Braun. But with him having a separated shoulder going into this, cracked ribs, all of these things, then it's like, well, hey, Braun won the match, but it's because of this, and this. He just got freaking, thrown off a ledge and all of these things. And on top of that, Braun might not even win the match clean, so that's another excuse right there. He could win the match via count-out, disqualification. And here's the thing, the three top guys on Raw, or the three most dominant guys on Raw right now, are Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar. You take the first letters of each of their first names, and that spells out BRB. Be right back, and ironically enough, that's how long it takes for Roman to come back from a big injury. And if he beats Braun Strowman, where does he go from there? The only way to go after beating Braun Strowman, the only place to go, is the championship. You beat The Undertaker, you beat Braun Strowman, there's nobody else that compares to Braun and Brock. You can't have him beat Braun Strowman and then expect us to believe that in his feud after Braun, let's say it's with Bray Wyatt, that Bray Wyatt is gonna beat Roman Reigns or anybody else that's not Braun or Brock. It just wouldn't make sense, wouldn't be realistic. And so, after he beats Braun, the only logical step is to go right after Brock Lesnar. But the problem is that the next pay-per-view after Payback for Raw is Extreme Rules. You really think they're going to have Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns, the big match, the big rematch that we never saw the result of, who the better man was between the two? You really think that's going to happen at one of the B shows? No. Roman versus Brock is going to take place on one of the bigger shows, if not the biggest show. If it's not going to be at SummerSlam, it's most likely going to be at WrestleMania 34. They're not going to give you that match on one of the, the not-so-big pay-per-views. So they have no choice but to stall here to keep Roman and Brock away from each other to save that match for SummerSlam or WrestleMania. That's a long way to go. So they've got to keep giving Roman Reigns these kayfabe injuries, distractions, feuds with other superstars. Same with Brock Lesnar. They've got to keep both of those guys busy until they finally meet and face off against each other. So expect a lot of rematches maybe for the championship. Brock maybe defending the title against the same person more than once, or Roman Reigns feuding with somebody, facing off against them in a couple of different pay-per-views, because they've got to fill up this time for both Roman and Brock until the two meet and face off against each other for the Universal Championship. And so, really, Roman can't beat Braun Strowman here, because then how do you justify not giving Roman Reigns a championship match right away after he beat Braun Strowman at Fastlane, Undertaker at WrestleMania, and then comes back from freaking being thrown around everywhere, flipped over, all of that, and also beating Braun Strowman once again when he's destroying everybody else? And the thing is, Reigns losing to Strowman is not going to hurt him at all, especially because of what Braun Strowman did to him and how dominant Braun is now, where nobody can stop him. He's taken out the Big Show, he's taken out Roman Reigns, he's taken out Kalisto. He was undefeated until Roman Reigns beat him, and even when Roman Reigns beat him, Braun just made a mistake. He jumped off the top rope, Roman rolled out the way, hit him with a spear, and that was it. And I can see that being the same way Roman Reigns loses. Now, not Roman Reigns jumping off the top rope, maybe something else, like, I don't know, spearing the steel post by accident or something like that, and then Braun capitalizes, or a simple counter, whatever. But it's not gonna make Roman Reigns look weak considering who he's facing off against. The good thing with Braun Strowman is, despite him losing his first match to Roman Reigns, they haven't made him look weak. He hasn't started to lose matches against everybody. In fact, you could argue that after his loss to Roman, he's now become more dominant than ever. And that's cool, because that's not what happened with Rusev, but with Braun, it's cool to see that they keep on making him look strong and dominant. And in this case right here, the good thing with Braun Strowman winning, even if it's against an injured Roman Reigns, it's still a victory over Roman Reigns, the guy who beat The Undertaker at WrestleMania, so it still counts as a huge win for Braun, and that can go ahead and build Braun up to face off against Brock Lesnar. They've teased Braun versus Brock a couple of times, but every single time, Braun has backed away, saying something along the lines that he's gonna do it on his time. And I think that time will be after he beats Roman Reigns. After he beats Roman Reigns, the guy that beat The Undertaker, I think that right there justifies giving a title shot right away to Braun Strowman, and we get Brock versus Braun. The good thing with Brock Lesnar is he can switch, man. He can face off against the heel. He can face off against the face. He is pretty much a tweener. He can face off against whoever. He's just a guy that beats up whoever for money and championships. And they've teased it so many times that it's gotta happen. Braun versus Brock. And Braun told Brock that once he was done with Roman, he would move on to Brock. Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman calling out Roman Reigns the night after WrestleMania was just a tease. You're not gonna get it right away. Just like how we didn't get Braun versus Brock right away. They started teasing that, I believe, the night before the Rumble. Or some could argue that they teased it the Rumble itself, not this year's Rumble, but the one before, where Bray Wyatt, or the entire Wyatt family, eliminated Brock Lesnar. But the real moment where they really focused on it and really started teasing it, just Braun and Brock, was, I think, before the Rumble, when Brock came out, suplexed Jericho, Kevin Owens, and Braun was in there, but he just, backed away once again. Bottom line, while I think a lot of people foresee this being another case of Roman Reigns overcoming the odds, I see this as a case where they really went to the extreme to justify why Roman Reigns is going to lose the match to Braun Strowman, because this time Roman Reigns is going into the match injured. He barely beat Braun the first time around when he wasn't injured. This time around he's injured. Like I said, the three most dominant guys, not just on Raw actually, but the entire WWE roster: Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, and Braun Strowman. And it's better for them to have all three of them look strong rather than just Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, especially with Brock Lesnar not being there full time. You've got to have somebody else look strong, and they're in a situation where having Braun Strowman beat Roman is not going to make Roman look weak at all because of the circumstance, because of what happened prior to the match and what Braun did to him and what Braun has done to everybody else. And having Braun beat Roman is going to build to a championship match that a lot of people want to see. Two huge beasts facing off against each other to determine who the real beast is, who the stronger one of the two is. Is it Braun or is it Brock? They've teased it so many times, people want to see it. Then they could go ahead and sell a bunch of, network subscriptions because people want to see these two beasts face off against each other. Two beasts that they've really built up that are pretty much unstoppable. And here's the thing, Brock is most likely going to retain the championship once he defends it against Strowman. And then it's like, yo, Brock Lesnar beat Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman beat Roman Reigns, then he beat everybody else, so who can stop Brock? So then, when Roman Reigns beats Brock, it looks even more impressive because Brock went ahead and beat The Undertaker. He broke the streak. He beat Goldberg. He beat Braun Strowman, the guy that beat Roman Reigns, and Roman was able to beat Lesnar. Most of us can see that the end result is Roman winning the Universal title off of Brock, and him being beat by Braun in this situation is going to hurt him at all, and at the end, actually, it's going to make his win over Brock that much more impressive, because they can go over how Brock destroyed all these other dominant superstars, but Roman was able to beat him. So there you have it. That's why I think Strowman is going to beat Reigns this Sunday, and likely go on to face off against Brock for the championship at Extreme Rules. So let me know what you think in the comments section below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think Roman's gonna win? Let me know in the comments and give me your reasoning as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see more of these types of videos, click that like button down below. And with that said, I'm out, guys. See ya.